everybody, Charles for HumbleMechanic.com. Today we're talking the state of the shop. This is episode 102 of the Humble Mechanic Podcast. So this is like the 5th or 6th State of the Shop show that I've done. It's the show I do about once a month where we talk about all the things that are going on in the shop, in the Volkswagen world. We got a lot to talk about this month because it's been kind of a crazy month. I actually think that I forgot to do the State of the Shop last month, so we got a little catching up to do, plus a ton of stuff that's been going on lately. But before we get into the show, let's talk about the sponsor of the day, which is Rain Eater Wiper Blades. Look, having good quality wiper blades is incredibly important. They're also a huge safety thing. And they're one of the easiest DIYs out there. And this being National Car Care Month and winter coming up, you definitely want to check your wiper blades. So if you want an awesome quality wiper blade at a great price, check out Rain Eater Wiper Blades at raineater.com. All right, let's get into it. So in the Volkswagen world, like I said, there's been a ton of things going on. First, let's talk about this upcoming clock spring recall. A bunch of you guys have reached out to me and told me that you got a letter and there was no information. All the letter said was, hey, there's a recall coming, there's a repair coming, there's some kind of campaign coming. Hang tight, be on the lookout for another letter. And I know that feels really vague, but they must not know what the fix is, or they're just waiting on parts. After you guys reached out to me and said, hey, I got this letter, I went ahead and found the letter that they're sending out and read it. And it makes me believe that they may not be actually replacing the entire clock spring. There may be some kind of add-on or replacement piece of the clock spring. We still really don't know exactly what the repair is going to be. It's kind of been that way since they first announced this pending campaign. It's a wait and see game. So of course, as soon as I see this recall go live and they list out exactly what the repair is going to be, I'll let you guys know. A lot of times with these recalls, we'll get a big batch of parts. The axle recall was a really good example. We got like 180 axle repair kits before the recall went live, so we'll probably have an idea of what exactly this is going to entail a little bit before the recall's announced. But with all the press that Volkswagen has gotten lately, I have a feeling that they're going to announce this repair to the consumer and to the owners either before they announce it to the dealerships or at the exact same time. Now, I did read in that letter, and it should be in your letter too, that if you're having a problem with the airbag light, go ahead and take it to the dealership. There are some parts available to get this taken care of, but you need to go through your dealership. The dealership's gonna have to jump through a few hoops to get you taken care of, but that's what we're there for. So don't hesitate, don't wait. If you have an airbag light, bring it in. And if you have that letter, I would probably bring it with you to the dealership. We pull that information from Volkswagen directly, but it's always good to have your documentation with you at the time of repair. So I still have a lot of questions on what exactly that's going to be as far as a fix for the clock spring. Again, I just don't know yet. In other news, I don't know if you guys have heard of this diesel thing that's been going on. I actually did a video about it a week or two ago. I'll put a link right here, so check that out if you want to know more about it. That came out about a week after the whole announcement of Volkswagen lying about their emissions test results. So at this point, it's a little outdated, but honestly, it's the exact same information that if I shot that video today, I would probably just be even more critical about the media and really trying to hype up this scandal, as they're calling it. So basically, we don't know. It's, again, the same information that we had before. There's still no fix. They still don't know exactly what's going to happen. There's a lot of cars, a ton of cars that are involved in this worldwide, and they don't know exactly how they're going to fix it. There's also a ton of rumors floating around, everything from they're going to buy back every car and crush it to it's simply just a software update. So all of the stuff, all of the things you guys are reading and listening to that says this is probably what it's going to be, these people don't know. It's a wait and see game, just like with the clock spring, just like it was 2 weeks ago. We really don't know what's going to happen at this point. All we know is that the value of TDIs has gone down dramatically at this point. So honestly, if you own a TDI, hold on to it and kind of wait and see where all this goes. If I owned a TDI, that's exactly what I would be doing. There's still a stop sale on new and used certified Volkswagens at dealerships. So you can't go into a dealership and buy a brand new TDI at this point. This is all, like I said 2 weeks ago, like I said about the clock spring, it's a wait and see game because we really have no information. We've gotten no different communication from Volkswagen at the dealership level. I even asked our general manager today and he's like, I haven't heard anything. Everything I'm hearing is in the media, and you have to split what you're hearing in the media between half of a load of junk and clickbait articles and people just completely making up stories about how Volkswagen probably killed 20 people with their NOx emissions over the span of these diesel issues. Be very cautious on what you're reading and listening to in the media. Nobody knows what the repair is. Again, like with the clock spring, as soon as I know anything about this that's 100% fact, I will let you guys know. Now, a lot of you guys have also asked me how this is impacting things at the dealership. It's hard to say that this exact event has caused this vibe and this feel and this change in our business, but there is a stop sale, so we've had to pull cars off the lot. So the vibe at the dealership has been really kind of odd. It's been slow. This week's been incredibly slow, the slowest week I remember in a really long time. Part of that is because in North Carolina, it's rained for about the last 2 weeks, so we're just now coming. Today was the first day of sunshine that we've seen in a long time. You know, when it rains, people don't come in. When it's really nice, people tend to not come in. So I don't really think from a service end, this Dieselgate has really impacted us. I do think it has impacted sales a little bit, but there are still people coming in. There are still people buying cars. Our sales department had a great month last month despite all of this coming down. I think for us at the dealership as employees, it's a lot of unknown. You know, we don't know what's going to happen. Just like I spent 3 or 4 minutes, whatever, ranting and rambling about all the unknowns, we don't know what's going to happen for us either. We don't know what's going to happen to your car, and we get questions about it, and we don't have answers, and it's incredibly frustrating because we're supposed to be the experts. We have Volkswagen on our shirts, and customers are asking these very serious and important questions to them, and we don't have anything to say, but we don't know, and it sucks for us. It makes us feel like we're looking stupid, even though most customers understand that this has nothing to do with us. We're not involved with it in any way, shape, or form. We want a resolution. We want answers. We want to know just as much as the drivers and the owners do. The problem is there are just no answers at this point. And I think, honestly, we're all kind of ticked off at Volkswagen. You know, a lot of drivers feel like they got stabbed in the back or Volkswagen betrayed them or whatever. And I think as representatives of the brand, we feel that way a little bit too. And it's frustrating. It's frustrating that we're not getting any communications. It's frustrating that we just don't know anything about what's going on. So to all you owners out there, to all my fellow Volkswagen dealership techs and employees and salespeople, to all you guys at the corporate level that aren't involved with this at all, I know there's a few of you guys out there watching. I'm sorry, we're all kind of going through this together, and as much as I hate to say it for like the 100th time, it's just a wait and see game for all of us. But moving on to more exciting, not TDI news or not clock spring news, I had a really great opportunity to get my hands on one of the new Passats, the 2016, which I think is scheduled to come out in December. They did, oddly enough, they did the release a couple of days after that whole diesel thing came out, but I saw pictures and initially I wasn't really impressed. You know, it was very subtle, a very subtle facelift based on the pictures, but this thing looks way better in person than it did in any of the pictures that I saw. There was a facelift on the front and in the back. The front end is really dramatically different. The hood is incredible. I really like kind of the mean growl look that they've given the Passat. Honestly, I think it's the look that the Passat should have had when it first came out, but they always do like a really great job on the facelifts. The B5s were a great example. You know, they had the early B5 and then they facelifted it to the B5 like my Passat. And I think generally they do a great job with it. So facelift on the outside, a few subtle changes with the dashboard on the inside. Our instructor said they lowered the dash line a little bit, which makes it look a little bit bigger on the inside. The cool stuff though, all LED lighting other than the fog lights. So the headlights look really awesome. It's got the strip at the bottom. The headlights and high beams are both LED lights, which is really cool. This is the first Volkswagen that has had LEDs, as far as I know anyway, as actual headlights. So they have that really crisp, bright white light that I really love. The Passat is also big in technology, a lot of driver assist things. Things like blind spot monitoring and lane departure warning and adaptive cruise. It's things that other Volkswagens have had on it before, but it now brings it to the Passat. I'm a little skeptical and a little worried about how some of these features function. Some of them really are only meant to be used on the highway. So this comes in where reading owner's books is gonna be very important. Having salespeople teach customers how to use this stuff is gonna be very important. And if you drive one of these cars with these, driver assist features, remember they're driver assist, not automated driver features. So know how these features work before you dive in and start using them. You know, you're trusting a lot for the vehicle to brake and execute certain tasks for you, so you need to make sure that you have a really good understanding of how they work. So I think the Passat's pretty cool. In the pictures, I was really worried about that strip across the front, but the car that we had was silver and the strip is silver, so it looked great. I think the key to that strip is really it needs to be color matched. It seemed to look kind of awkward to me on a blue car or a black car. It's really hard to tell in pictures, but the silver on silver that you guys have been checking out is really cool, and I really like that look. So hopefully Volkswagen decides we should color match those strips. There's probably a few other things that I've missed. This was a sales training that I just happened to sit in. The instructor was super awesome. So when the car comes out, I'll probably take one for a day and do a whole walk around and more of a car review type video for you guys. We also still have a bunch of new people. We're hiring another Service Express advisor. Our Service Express advisor is coming back into the shop to work Service Express, so that's really cool. The guy that we moved out of Service Express onto alignments is doing awesome. This guy's trying to soak in as much knowledge as he possibly can. Him and I messed around with the radar alignment tools today, which was really fun, and it's fun for me to learn some of this stuff too. He's kind of starting from knowing nothing, and he's working really hard, you know, trying to optimize everything that he's doing. Let this be a lesson to you new guys. The harder you work, the harder you study and learn, and the more you absorb information-wise, the better off you're gonna be. This stuff really doesn't go unnoticed. You know, I noticed it from early on that he was gonna be this type of person, and he's worked his butt off and he's doing an awesome job. He's trying to learn about doing performance alignments and things like that. So guys, work hard and people will notice. The other guy that we pulled out of Service Express into the shop as a regular line tech is kind of past that honeymoon period where it's really fun to be a tech, and he's kind of getting into the nitty-gritty stuff now, which can be incredibly frustrating, but I think he's doing a pretty good job of keeping his head up and hustling and working hard and trying to learn kind of the idiosyncrasies of being a tech, because really this is a hard job. It's not just any Joe can walk in off the street and be a really good, proficient technician, especially on flat rate. This takes time, it takes learning, it takes really hard work. So I'm proud of all the new guys that we have. They've been doing a great job, working really hard. I'm excited to see, you know, a year, 2 years down the road when they're vital parts of what we're doing and really key players in the shop, and what they started off with not knowing anything about fixing Volkswagens to where they are then. So that'll be really cool. I'm really excited to see their growth and transition. So that pretty much sums up the last month or so in the shop. It's been heavy in Clock Spring and heavy in Dieselgate, so I know that was kind of the bulk of today's show. But I'm gonna wrap it up there. If you have any questions or comments, post it in the comments section below. Hey, if you like the video, throw it a thumbs up on YouTube. I always appreciate that. You can also subscribe on YouTube or on the blog at humblemechanic.com. You can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, the blog, and obviously here on YouTube. All right, guys, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. No beer of the day. It's a little later than I wanted to get started, so like 9:30 p.m. coffee.